My life was my ancestor's avatar, opening the cosmic ocean and quanta. Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to meet you. Today, I would like to share a very special and perhaps the most important story of our lives. The theme is the energy circulation of the quantum field and our lives. We must first understand what is a quantum to grasp how it directly correlates with our lives, our wallets, and our ultimate happiness. Through deep meditative practice, Zen intuition, Zen insight naturally opens. My life was my ancestor's avatar. In other words, when you attain the Zen mind of stillness, samadhi, quietly letting go of all thoughts, the inner workings of the universe's energy field reveal themselves completely, without the need for high-powered telescopes or microscopes. Because meditative cultivation and modern science use different terminologies, they may seem like entirely different stories at first glance, which often leads to misunderstanding. However, their ultimate truth and essence flow into the exact same oneness. My friends, just because the field of quantum mechanics was established by humanity doesn't mean a mysterious new substance suddenly popped out of nowhere. It is the original, intrinsic reality of the universe that has existed since before the dawn of time. Buddha's enlightenment 2,500 years ago and modern science. Here is an astonishing fact. This ultimate pinnacle of human intellect, quantum mechanics, was already perfectly penetrated and understood over 2,500 years ago, in an era when written language barely existed. The one who saw this was none other than Shakyamuni Buddha. That was an era before the very concept of science even existed. In that ancient past, when humanity had barely moved beyond primitive times, the Buddha discovered the secrets of the universe through an all-encompassing cosmic enlightenment, attained solely by purifying the mind and entering deep meditation. What today's cutting-edge space science and quantum physics are barely uncovering by deploying equipment worth hundreds of billions of dollars, the Buddha was already seeing completely with the eye of his mind. This incredible truth of the universe, mirroring modern quantum mechanics, has been preserved and handed down to us for 2,500 years through the vast ocean of Buddhist scriptures. Since then, countless disciples and Zen masters have appeared to confirm and manifest the same realization through their own practice. Yet, truthfully, no one has discovered an enlightenment deeper than this. Because it was such a monumental and magnificent awakening, even humanity today, living in an extremely advanced material civilization, still relies on these teachings as nourishment for the soul. Now, take a gentle breath and let us dive into the core of the matter. The universe is not empty. It is an ocean of energy. The most shocking fact revealed by cutting-edge quantum mechanics is that the solid matter we see and touch, as well as the vast space of the universe, is not actually empty. We tend to think something is empty if we cannot see it with our eyes. We say a room is empty because the air is invisible, and we call the space between stars a vacuum an empty void. However, seen through the eyes of quantum mechanics, the universe is an ocean of energy, densely packed with subatomic particles and waves. It means the universe is like a giant woven fabric of energy, interconnected tightly without a single millimeter of a gap. The energy of the universe is constantly circulating, exchanging, interacting, and fluctuating at this very moment. If we apply this scientific truth directly to our actual lives, a remarkably clear and spine-chilling answer begins to emerge. Look around you, everyone. Human life is truly fascinating. Some are born into wealth and live smooth lives, while others struggle through poverty their entire lives. We often dismiss this blindly as fate or destiny and just move on. To give you the conclusion first in life, every single one of us is born with a specific vessel or blueprint. This is not a vague, old-fashioned religious philosophy or superstition. This truth is now precisely backed by modern neuroscience and the scientific principles of quantum mechanics. Then, what does this born vessel mean scientifically? Our bodies and minds are made of microscopic energy particles. To put it simply, each individual possesses a unique light energy called a photon light quantum. As this energy vibrates, it creates a specific wavelength. Your vessel is determined by the health and magnitude of your quantum particles, which transmit and absorb these wavelengths into the cosmic space. The state and magnitude of that energy determine the size of a person's vessel. The subconscious diary and the life of an avatar. This vessel of energy is what we call the mind. However, if we look inside this mind, there is a vast and deep world that we do not consciously perceive, the world of the subconscious. What kind of place is our subconscious? It is where our karmic force is, stored acting exactly like a life diary we have written ourselves across countless past lifetimes. To put it easily, it is an incredibly honest diary, recording the lives of our ancestors and parents. The fascinating part is that this diary is not handed down in the form of a book printed with letters on paper. Instead, it is seamlessly dissolved into our subconscious in the form of emotional wavelengths and wavelengths of feeling. Physically, that wave energy is stored precisely in the hippocampus of our brain, which is responsible for memory. Now, the mystery of why we repeat the exact same mistakes and why we cannot live the way we consciously want is unlocked. In our daily lives, the moment we trigger a thought or an emotion, a wavelength of consciousness, the past, karmic consciousness, the diary hidden deep within the hippocampus and subconscious activates in the blink of an eye. It immediately overlays its past habits, past memories, and past karmic forces onto our current consciousness, much like slapping a fresh coat of paint over it. It then whispers to us, "This is who you are." You are naturally someone who gets angry in this situation, and you are naturally someone who likes this kind of thing. It brainwashes us in an incredibly subtle way. We fall for this trick of the subconscious, hook, line, and sinker. Thus, we live under the illusion that the judgments we make and the thoughts and actions we perform right now are done entirely out of our own free will. Because we are deceived day after day, this very illusion becomes a powerful habit, engraving a deep misunderstanding in our minds. This is the real me. But what is the reality? We are not living a genuinely autonomous life. We are merely being conditioned by old karmic consciousness, tamed by the remnants of ancient habits, causing the film of the past to automatically replay like a robot. Yet we mistakenly believe we are the masters. In truth, the entity called I in the present moment is nothing more than the immediate act of seeing, hearing, tasting, and feeling right now, while the current consciousness tries to integrate all these sensations and transmit them to the brain, the seventh consciousness. Manasvijnana, the agent of past karmic consciousness, has already intercepted it. It overlays the subconscious signal according to its past karmic habits and brainwashes you into thinking, this is you. Therefore, by the time your reaction manifests, it is already distorted. Detailed explanations on this can be found in my videos The Brain Changes Meditation and Neuroscience Logic, and The Seventh Consciousness Was a Lifesaver. Consequently, if you do not snap out of it and stay intensely awake and aware right this second, we have no choice but to live as avatars, controlled entirely by past habits and karmic forces. We are avatars, dragged along helplessly, leaving the steering wheel of life not in our own hands, but hooked to the autopilot of past karmic imprints. The scientific truth of blaming ancestors and the energy of merit. There is an old Korean proverb that says, "When things don't go well, people blame their ancestors." While it is commonly used to mock those who blame others, this proverb conceals an immense truth of quantum physics and genetics. Whose energy are we living on? We live based on the energy field of our DNA, the genetics handed down directly from our ancestors and parents. Inside those genes, not only physical characteristics, but also the mental vibrations and karmic imprints of how they treated the world are inherited entirely. Therefore, if you live without being spiritually awake, you are indeed an avatar moving exactly along the tracks laid down by your ancestors. Thus, blaming the ancestors is scientifically accurate. Fortunately, even if you are acting as an avatar, if your past lives or ancestors accumulated a vast amount of wholesome karma, sonop, good karma, you will at least play the role of a blessed avatar, enjoying this lifetime comfortably without major hardships. However, you must remember one thing. If a certain avatar lives exceptionally well and enjoys abundance in this lifetime, it means their ancestors or their own past life selves underwent tremendous endurance before sweetness. Kojin gamle, no pain, no gain. They were the ones who refrained from playing when others played, restrained their greed when others surrendered to it, sowed seeds with tears, and accumulated virtue. Without the merit of that invisible energy, it is absolutely impossible for the next generation to live in peace and affluence. Alternatively, They were the ones who, despite living well in the past, did not hoard it for themselves, but shared it generously with those around them, continuously accumulating vast savings of wholesome merit in the universe's quantum field. It is one of the two